Okay. So, welcome my fellow Debarians. Welcome to one more day on the Sacred Hebrew Alphabet Code. We are with the SAMEKH today. SAMEKH is the 15th letter of the Hebrew Alphabet Code, and we're going to look at this today. And gather in. Starting again today. I'm using this again today. Let's go to the main ticker here. See if we can see me, guys. Alright, so here we go. Here we are. Good to have you guys. Whom have I in heaven? Whom have I in heaven? Seems to be working. All right, let me play a little commercial. All right, and then I'm gonna go and while I play the commercial is playing, I'm going to share this with my timeline so people can watch it there too. But let me put the commercial for today. Let's see, commercial. Let's see if I can see it. The Hebrew shard, and then after that is Absalom scripture for today. I got that. Let's portray. Alright, I don't see that. I don't see that commercial there. One moment. Main scripture for today. Story monarch. There we go. So, okay, so I suppose you guys can see me and hear me all right? You know? Uh, yeah, shalom, Andy. And hey, good to see you, Brian. All right. Hey, I know you. Yeah, I know you too, my man. All right, so we're in business again, you know? Everything seems to be working okay, and this is the best way of doing this, I suppose. So, is everything coming okay? The sound, the picture, is it blurry? It's buffering? How's it looking to you guys? Is it looking okay? Because I usually have to turn the computer off and everything, you know, and this time I just went straight without turning the computer on, so I'm just taking a chance. But it seemed like I went in with no problem, so, you know, I'm glad about that. Vamos a sing song again. Whom have I ever? Whom have I ever? But thee, but thee. Whom have I ever? Whom have I ever? But thee, but thee. And there is none upon earth, not on beside thee, beside thee. And there is none upon earth, not on. Whom have I ever? Whom have I ever? But thee, but thee. Whom have I ever? Whom have I ever? But thee, but thee. And there is none upon earth that I desire beside thee. And there is none upon earth that I desire beside thee. Whom have I ever? Whom have I ever? But thee, but thee. Whom have I ever? Whom have I ever? But thee, but thee. And there is none upon earth that I desire beside thee, beside thee. And there is none upon earth that I desire beside thee, oh no, beside thee. All right. Okay, that seems to be working okay so far. All right, today let me put a little bit of the letter I'm going to be talking about. Let me go to the Hebrew chart here. All right, I like that transition there. It's cool. All right, so today we're on SAMEKH. All right, this big one here, right by my hat right there. Yeah, touching with the tip of my hat. Okay, the SAMEKH is a pictographic of a thorn, and that is for support and protect. You know, like a thorn does a couple of things. Like a thorn in the rose, you know, it's to protect the rose because, you know, people just are so attracted to the beauty that want to take it away. So the rose has this little barbs there, little, you know, things to protect itself, but it causes harm to those that want to cause harm to it. So the same idea, if you are a precious rose or a precious flower to God, you know, He has a protection towards you. And He's got a way to protect you, you know, by giving you the understanding that you need to have that protects you against the, you know, the onslaught of the mindset of the world. the world will have you believe that there's something in this world of the dust, the signs of the dust, that you should be attracted to, or you should, strive to go after. Okay, but the thorn here is like a support or protect, in a sense, like a barbed wire. People that use a barbed wire fence, it protects them who are living in the property, and it causes harm to those that want to climb over the fence. Okay, so it has a way of doing that. So it has a way of supporting you and defending you and doing all things to protect you. So we're gonna see that today, as we're reading. And the reading is a few words. Let me see. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. David uses 7 words that start with SAMEKH. With the 15 letters. That's numeric value of 60. And start with SAMEKH for protecting and defending. And so we can see here that in the chart is number 60. Now, one thing I want to review today, I'm going to bring the chart of the meaning, because we need to understand the Hebrew chart for the meaning that I gave you before. Let me put it here. Yeah. Okay. So let me get to the side here. All right. So this one, still in SAMEKH for today. But as you understand here, we're looking at, I told you before, there's a purpose for the alphabet and the order in which it was given. Now, in this chart here, I put them in a Western style, from left to right, the way that we write and read. Because in Hebrew, it's from right to left. It's the backwards way. But I had to put all these things around and put them in this order because just for the sake of translating it. So there's a message encapsulated in the whole Aleph tab. That's Aleph is the first one and tab is at the end. And there's a message for the sake of the meaningfulness of a word. In other words, God went to a great deal of providing us a word, showing us that He was going to keep it throughout the centuries, as He did. And we have had it up until now, and this has been the Torah has been a word that has been the leading word for 3 of the major religions, like Christianity. They believe in the Torah. We say that we believe in the Old Testament. And Christians say that they believe in the Old Testament. And even Muslims. Muslims believe in the Torah. So the Torah and all of that is accepted for these 3 main religions. And of course, Jewish people, right? That's the main stuff for them. But there's a meaning encapsulated, okay? And it's for the sake of meaningfulness. In other words, if we have to exist, my fellow fan, we have to exist for the sake of treasuring words with their meaning and definitions. And that's all that we're going to get. Words with all their meanings and their full definitions. To have a word with a meaning and definition is to have a word that has a mom and a dad. I use the word M and D because, meaning and definition makes the word be a producer. The word car with all its meaning and definitions makes you a producer of cars. The word computer with all its meanings and definitions makes you a maker of laptops, maker of computers, maker of desktop towers, maker of even iPhones and others. All those are computers. So when you have the word in all its meaning and definition, then that word is full of life. It's able to animate the person that has it. Okay, so that's the whole purpose. So the whole idea, I'm using I'm conveying the alphabet and teaching you as giving the mindset of the father, because that's what a father does. He provides a strong house, a house that supplies all the care for all generations, and that's the meaning of father, because that's what we need to be to all words. We need to take all words into our soul with all of its meaning and definition, and especially not necessarily for the market of the retarded garden, for all the products that we have here, Let each person deal with their own burden. Each person knows in this market what their specialty is. Some are computer geeks, some are mechanics, some are engineers, some are doctors. So let each person deal with their own specialty, okay? The only thing that we need to do in this retarded garden is we need to get together all the people in all the professions and uphold one another. That's what is missing right now. We only get together as consumers, and talk about what we consume. Like, for example, Facebook, all these places like that is just a gathering for all the consumers. So we agreed to come in here to share all the stuff that we're consuming in this world. The good vacations that we're enjoying, the good food that we're enjoying, the good clothes that we're buying, the good places that we're visiting. all our consumer affairs, we bring it to Facebook. So we have an agreement to get together in Facebook, just to talk about, our consuming habits. And so, but we don't have a gathering where we gather together as specialists in our different fields. We usually don't talk about that. We advertise maybe in Facebook, we are into real estate or into anything. We advertise about our business, but we don't really share our experiences of that. So we're not in one accord in that. But that's all that's needed in the retarded garden. So I'm going to do that through the CEOs.com and the CFOs.com. I have those domain names since 2003, by the way, since June of 2003, and I'm going to be using it eventually now. I know what to use it for. And that will be like a social means of getting together with people of different professions, and we will gather together by zip codes. We will put that together by zip codes, and then people with different professions, that's what we're going to gather there to encourage one another. And so that way the people that have, because all of us have to be a father and a mother to any product or service in this retarded garden, because like I told you, the products and services in the retarded garden cannot work on their own, like the animals and plants in the resilient garden that God made. So in the retarded garden, we have to carry the definition and the meaning for all the stuff that we do. So it's high time for us to get together and that as a group, and that's what's going to happen, But like I was saying, so there's an agreement that we have to come. That is only when we treasure words with all of its meaning and definitions. That's a word that has a mom and a dad because it's meaning and definition, and that word is in this world as a producer, as a caretaker, as a maker, as a maintainer. As everything has to do in good status, okay? And but basically what it was given for us to keep the mindset of the Father in this world, so that we are here to take care of everything and everybody and everything that comes our way that uses words to be taken care of. We'll treasure those words and we'll take care accordingly. That's how we have the attitude we need to have. And only the things in this world that only treasure words with meanings and definitions, those are the ones that are trusted to run everything for us. Like, for example, why do you think computers are running everything? Because all the computer inherits is meanings and definitions. It doesn't inherit anything else but meanings and definition, and it runs its application and programs accordingly. Okay? So that's why those things are trusted, to run our traffic lights, to run our banks, to run our health information, to run pretty much everything. Okay? And so while we forsake our treasure, which is we're capable of doing that ourselves, and we trust those machines so we can just go about our business of just being consumers. Okay? But if we commit ourselves to the first, reason for which God created us, then we'll be on top of the world. That's why you will be a nation that will be treasured above all. That's what God told Israel. If you keep my commandments, if you treasure my teaching, my Torah, the teachings orderly regulating all humanity, I will take you as my treasure above all nations, and I will put you above everybody. Because everybody that just loves words and the meaning of words will always be ahead of the rest. It's as simple as that. So I'm reading in this thing, Echad at the top. Echad is one, okay? And that's what the name of the Lord will be known in Zechariah 14 verse 9. He says that's how he will be known at the end. And the bar is word. On top, equal, put that together, I put those together, and I put Echad bar, which means one word. So everything is done by the full meaning and definition of the one word, okay? A whole car industry is run, a whole car economy is run by one word. The word card, with is full of its meaning and definition. A word card is with a mom and a dad. It has meaning and definition. It's not an orphan word. It's a word that is wholesome. Okay, an orphan word is just like people that are consumers. They take orphan words. They take words without meaning and definition, a word without a mom and a dad, and therefore they're only but echo chambers, showing or portraying orphan words. And the whole world is filled with people like that. So the soul happens to be like a widow. It only takes orphans. He doesn't have a husband. It's not married to the one that is giving the meaning and definitions. Okay? All these things the Bible mentions is to understand what your soul is in regards to the relationship of the word that you carry within you. So you understand that's the level of understanding that we need to get. So what I'm saying here, so to dedicate our existence, look, thereafter Echad bar is to dedicate our existence to the meaningfulness of wholesome words is the best way to procure the preservation of the functionality of all things that have ever been created. All right? So let me repeat that again. To dedicate our existence, what we're going to be in this world, we're going to dedicate our existence to the following. To dedicate our existence to the meaningfulness, having the meaning and definition of everything, of wholesome words. Wholesome word is the one that has that. Is the best way to procure the preservation of the functionality of all things that have ever been created, especially by the word. Everything is made by words. And then I just have my name there, all that I call myself, name given to me, and the name I call myself now. Zechariah, David, Emmanuel, Castro, Stevenson, Tito, Carey, and the COVID-19 man as of present, which I'm using in this group here. But there is a meaning behind each letter, okay? And I'm going to link that meaning. I'm going to read it to you. From this point on, every day I'm going to read it to remind you that that's what we're looking. We're looking to establish ourselves in the mindset of the Father, okay? I like to think of Father as fully able to help everyone rapidly. Father, fully able to help everyone rapidly. Because when you have all the meanings, a word with all of its meanings and definitions, you are fully able, to help everyone or everything rapidly. That's why that's the highest way of thinking of a father, a person that is fully able to help everyone or everything rapidly, right away, because he's ready to, to understand what is needed, and he's ready to do the job. So if you're a father, fully able to help everyone or everything rapidly, that's what makes you a father. And the knowledge and to live for the existence of meaningfulness, that's what enables you to be a fantastic, a magnificent father. Okay? You notice that I speak with a lot of acronyms because that's the best way to remember the definition of things for me. Okay, so in any case, so we have here the Aleph, Bet, Gimel, Dalet, Hey, Vav. The first 6 letters on top. And that means so we dedicate our existence to the fortifying house, or the blueprint for the career of administering the displayed activation of the connectedness of, then the second row on the bottom, of the cultivation of words that safeguard the distribution of the task of handling the approved guidelines or instructions of, then the third one is the solutions that generate or propagate protection or support. That's what we're talking about, protection or support for the washer's proclamation of the journey of mankind's desires. Okay, that's all the way there. And then it ends up with that. At the end, and the last one, in Kuf, Resh, and Shin, and Tab, it says, from dawn until dusk and forevermore, this is our main and foremost pressing goal, objective, agenda, agreement, and commitment. All right? So that's what the whole alphabet is trying to get you to understand. That's the whole message encapsulated in the order by which it was given. Okay? And when you understand the meaning behind each letter, you can see that God is a God of functionality. He made all things to function. And since everything was created by words, the only thing that he gets delight in is in keeping the words in all of its order. Because that way everything that he has created, it stays new, refreshed, it never grows old. If you have all the knowledge of how everything runs and how everything is connected, how everything is put together, you make all things new. Behold, all things stay new. Because you're capable of making them stay new because you have the right order, and that's what you keep inside of you. So that's the whole idea. So when you hear me talking about the alphabet or not, that's what I'm referring to. Yeah. All right. So how we doing over there? All right. So you're still around. Perfect. Okay. Still running. I can see myself here. Perfect. Wow. Beautiful. Okay. So that's the whole idea. That's what I'm trying to accomplish here. So I want to be reminding this one every day. We're going to be going over for the rest of the days here now until the 22nd letter. And now that I have this program running here, I think I can give a brief message every night with this program. I have a lot of stuff that runs through my mind, little meditations for the day. So I will give you the meditation of the day word, as the stuff that God bring into my mind every day. And I think we can have a little 30 minutes to 20 minutes every day after the fast is over. But at least, we're going to go every day right now, and I think I'm going to be able to keep it because it's so easy to do with this program. It's so beautiful that it lends itself to this. So we're going to do it that way. All right. So you understand there? So this is the whole idea, So let me read the whole thing with us without pausing. So what the message to live for the existence of meaningfulness, to dedicate ourselves to the existence of meaningfulness, we must keep the fortifying blueprints for the career of administering the displayed activation of the connectedness of the cultivation of words that safeguard or that protect the distribution of the task or the work of handling the approved guidelines of the solutions that generate or propagate protection or support for the watcher's proclamation of the journey of mankind's desires. And then from dawn until dusk and forevermore, this is our main and foremost pressing goal or objective or agenda or agreement and commitment. All right. So if we commit ourselves to that, we're going to be pretty well off in this world. Because if everybody imagines, you and I, all we have is, the word that is full of meaning, and we have a fellowship of people that have likewise mind. Nothing will scare you because you will not be fooled like the world. The world is thinking that there's something in the realm of the dust, in the products of the dust, that is needed for us to protect ourselves. But when you are aware that everything generates from words and people, with manpower putting those words together to create products and services, then you're not fooled anymore. Then you realize that the word is above all things. The word is the word that runs everything. And to have a word with the fullness of its meaning is what really matters, okay? All right, so I'm saying that part there. Let me get back to the main thing here. I'm going to put a little commercial here again. Okay, commercial to remind. All right, so we got a commercial there. This is so great, man. I really love this program. It makes them so easy. Woo. I don't have to be going all over the place. Everything is one little spot here, So wow, so this is wonderful. And eventually, I can do live on YouTube as well with this one. So that's the beautiful thing about that. All right, so like I said, so we did this, and now, okay. So let me go to the reading for today's Bible reading for today. Let me find it here. All right, today's portrait scripture for the day. There we go. All right, so we have it here. We're dealing with SAMEKH. All right, and SAMEKH is a picture of the thorn, like I told you. Okay. And so here we begin with the first verse in 119, Psalm 119, verse 113, SAMEKH. By the way, SAMEKH means to uphold. It's like this word here on 16, uphold. That's the word for the word SAMEKH. It's for the word SAMEKH. So the letter SAMEKH means actually, it's a word that means uphold, to sustain, to support you. Okay? But that's the meaning of it. So that's why, to sustain you, to protect you, to support you, all of that has to do with SAMEKH. Okay? But here goes SAMEKH. I hate vain thoughts. And the word for thought is saif. Saif. For the word thoughts. And that has the word SAMEKH. SAMEKH has the sound of the S. The S sound. Okay? So I hate vain thoughts, but thy law do I love. Okay? In other words, people are just thinking every day what they want to get from this world, what they haven't gotten yet, as if this world is the main thing there is, because they completely oblivious, to the notion that you are here to acquire the mindset of the Aleph Bet of the Father, that made all creation, so you can walk in the liberty and the freedom that He has, not to be attached to anything in this world, but to just be always the upholder and keeper of all the words and definitions, so that He will always be ready to what? To refresh, restore, maintain, all of these things that a producer or a maker does for his product. Okay? God is interested in the production of mankind. He made man, male and female made He them. Okay? He made it that way because that's the way they reproduce. So He wants to see the reproduction of mankind, but He also wants to see the reproduction of His word as a wholesome word in the mindset of the Aleph Bet, in the mindset of the Father, so that there will be no hell on earth. Because if we come to this world just to be in the Aleph Bet and just to stay there, to acquire and inherit as our most highest treasure, the meaning and definition of words, if that's what is our highest treasure, this world is never going to be harmed. Because we will seek for the meaning and definition of the original industry. Okay, the original industry is the resilient, brilliant garden of the organic life, of insects, of trees, of flowers, of lakes, of rivers, of oceans, of clouds, of water, all of that. We will get all that knowledge and we will not do anything to harm any of that. We will harness all the best that we can do with that. Okay, as it is right now, we have completely forgotten that garden and gone and focused ourselves upon this retarded garden, and there we think that the getting of things is what's going to make us be something, and we have completely forgotten the whole purpose for which we were made. So in the first industry, it's this brilliant, resilient garden that doesn't need a lot of manpower. The apple tree does not need any manpower to create its apples, other than you want to watch it and learn from it, but it pretty much does its job by itself. You got to just maybe water or do a couple of things here and there, but most of those things are very resilient, and so we're here to learn from that, and we're here to be like that. So we are not, we do not engage ourselves in the vain thoughts that the people in the retarded garden engage in, So this, by thy law do I love. Okay, that's what it says in verse 114. Thou art my hiding place and my shield. That word hiding, okay, that word hiding is another word here in verse 114. The word hiding place, that's a Hebrew word that means seter. Seter. So it's the way they spell the pronunciation, Sether. So seter, like a hiding place. We can get like an English equivalent word of that, like a hiding place is like a shelter. That's close to the Hebrew. Seter, Sether, seter. You put the SH in there and L, shelter. So that's close to seter, and that's a word in English to means like a hiding place, a place that protects you. Okay, you have a shelter. In Hebrew, it's seter, Thou art my hiding place. All of this to uphold you and protect you, like a barbed wire fence. Doesn't let anybody come close to you, protects you. Thou art my hiding place and my shield. I hope in thy word. In other words, is I put all the things I hope to have in this world is just what your word are instructing me about your character and about who you are. That's everything that I look for, Like people have hopes of having this or having that, things in this retarded garden, and but not him. He's determined to be in the alphabet, determined to be in the mindset of the Father. Therefore, just that determination, provides for him a hiding place, so that all the vain thoughts of this world don't get to him. Psalm 119, verse 115. Depart from me, ye evildoers, for I will keep the commandment of my God. See, every evildoer is Rasha, a wicked, or Rasha, a person that does not line up his mind. Okay, you gotta understand when the Bible talks about being Rasha or evildoers, it's not necessarily somebody that is not nice to strangers or anything like that, because people in a society, they can behave well, they can act accordingly, but it is the people that do not line up their thoughts with the Torah, so that they're thinking in the mindset of the Father, so that everything that they do is to experience the joy of the Father and the mindset of the Father flowing out of them, because that's the intimacy of the relationship for which we were created. And so these people that are not lined up that way, they are dysfunction. Because everybody acts kind in this world because they know there's a recompense for that. If you are nice, you get niceness back in return. So people understand that simple rule. So just out of that, because they want to get a reward, they use niceness or kindness for getting back kindness. So it's an exchange like that. But those that are lined up with the mindset of the Father, they show kindness, not because they're seeking to purchase kindness back from the world, but because they are always enjoying the fellowship and the intimacy of the Father. And they are always eager to show him off. And that was a way to brag out, to just show him off. So whether there's any return of kindness from your fellow man, that's inconsequential to you. It's beautiful to see that, and if this person wants to get into the joy that you possess and wants to know, more about the Torah than you, then that's your greatest delight, even increases even more, because, you want to gain a partner, in your own fellowship of thinking, But so far, that's the main thing, okay? So depart from me, ye evil doers, for I will keep the commandments, the mitzvahs of my God. Uphold me, and that's this word uphold that I told you. Uphold is the word SAMEKH. SAMEKH means uphold. And that's exactly the meaning of it. So uphold or support, that's the meaning of it. So support me, uphold me, and means SAMEKH. According unto thy word. In other words, support me and uphold me, maintain me by the word, that I may live, and let me not be ashamed of my hope. All right, so that I will get what I'm hoping. In other words, I'm hoping to be in the character of the Father. So hold me up with a word, because your word brings me that. It's the only thing in this world that makes me to that. Nothing else does. So he just continually asking for those things. Uphold me. And then verse 117, hold thou me up. This is another word here. Hold thou me up. It's another one like uphold me, and it's similar to that. And what it says there is sa'ad. Sa'ad. Hold thou me up. It's sa'ad. It takes all of this to say it in English, but it's sa'ad. It's hold me up. It's just trying to explain the meaning of that. And I shall be safe, and I will have respect unto thy statutes continually. All right? Support me. Give me your word and understanding that comes from it. And then I will have respect. And I will continue in your word day and night. And then verse 118. Thou hast trodden down. This word trodden down is another word with a SAMEKH. And it means salah. Salah, trodden down all them that err from thy statutes. For their deceit is falsehood. Okay? So everybody, this is what happened. Everybody that does not line up with the Torah, the teachings orally regulating, all humanity, for the sake of lining up your thoughts and your inner life with the character of your Maker, what happens to them? They're thrown down. That means throwing down when somebody steps on you, and people or things are stepping all over you. And that's what happened to the wicked. The wicked their hope is in this world. So what they want to do is they want to go to this world, and willingly they want to hold on to things. They want to get a car, they want to get a house, they want to get properties and everything in this world, just for the sake of holding them up and say to the world, look, this is what I accomplished. This is what makes me be somebody. Acknowledge me and recognize that I have arrived. All that thing, without realizing that by taking that burden, that's how God makes the wicked be trodden down. He lets them be put under all these things that's made out of the dust. And they have to labor day and night to get certain status, to get onto these things and to be able to show them to the world. All along, God is doing all of that, making life very hard for them to be able to accomplish that, but they don't care. They're being given over to that. So it says, thou hast trodden down all them that err from thy statutes. So those that don't understand the reason why the word was given, just to get into union and intimacy with the Father, they have no other choice but to go into this world and to drag themselves from the products of the mud, because dirt they are and dirt they will remain, and they're going to swallow into the dirt and be, required to be admired. They live the curse, and and they don't even realize, that's the curse. Dust thou art, and to dust shalt thou return. They are attached to the dust, they're attached to the mud, they're dirt, and everything like that, so they're trodden, like people trod under the dirt. That's what awaits the generation that is not walking in the statutes, okay? So that's why the Bible says, let not your heart envy sinners, but be thou in the fear of the Lord all the day long. Because the sinners are just being trodden down. They're dirt and everything else. They want to have to hold it and hold it up. They work for a retarded gardening, which they had to build the company from the ground up. So everything is retarded, okay? And so they are trodden down. So that's the beautiful thing. So when you get a perspective, you understand the delight of David, why he delighted in the word, okay? And he wrote the longest thing dedicated just to the word, to make you understand that your joy is so full and so complete just being in the word of your maker, man. And so I love that. Thou hast trodden down all them that err from the statutes, for their deceit is falsehood. Okay, they believe in lies, right? And then verse 19, thou puttest away all the wicked of the earth like dross. This word dross here, okay, let me tell you, this is another like seg or sog. Okay, thou puttest away. And interesting, guys, I'm looking at in the Hebrew, puttest away. This is the word Shabbat. Thou Shabbat all the wicked of the earth like dross. You put him to rest. It means you make them rest. All the wicked of the earth, you just put them to rest or lay them away or you cut them off. Like people cut off the dross, like things that are rust, escoria, things that are, that have rusted away. You don't want to have anything. You get rid of it. You give it a rest. You take it off of the stuff. Therefore, I love thy testimonies, it says, because you have the way that the wicked are being treated, they're being treated like dross, in comparison to what they could have in the fellowship of being with the Father. Everything that you get in this world is just rusting. It's like rusting away. You could have been so much shining in the character you make it, but there you're rusting away, wallowing up like a pig in the dirt, completely oblivious to the purpose of your creation. Okay? So that's how they're put away. They're caused to rest, from the cut off from the original purpose for which we were made, and they are, cast away like dross. So in verse 120, it says, my flesh trembleth for fear of thee, and I am afraid of thy judgments. Okay, and trembleth is another word there, and that is samar. My flesh trembleth for fear of thee, and I am afraid of thy judgments. So he's talking about, the only thing that causes me fear, that makes me tremble, is you have to do with thy word. Anything that has to do with the word. So I'm careful to keep it. I'm careful not to do anything to be offensive to it, And so if you're in the fear of the Lord all the day long, you don't have time for any fear of anything else. You don't have time for fear of COVID-19 or fear of what people think about you because you're not living up to a certain status. Oh, I'm in my 40s, I'm in my 50s, I have nothing to show for. If you have the alphabet, you have everything that you ever needed. Because you were made for that alphabet, for the Father, and therefore to grow in that heart of the Father, and therefore brag about that heart of the Father in the things that you do and the things that you say and the thing you carry yourself about in this world with your fellow man, all right? And so that's the reason why we're here. So, praise Hashem for that, praise Adonai for that, So that's basically it, okay? That's all I'm sharing today. And so that was nice and dandy. It worked out pretty good. It's looking better. All right. So let me close with a commercial again. Let me see if I can find it here. Yeah, here we go. I'm going to play the commercial for the close. And so it was good to have you. May Hashem, may his face shine upon you and keep you and bless you. All right. May you be edified by the word that was said. All right, here we go. Let me do the commercial now.